Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Flynn and I am the owner and maker of Flynn Sisters Boutique. And today we are doing a tutorial on that notorious Tangram Tumbler. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but the Tangram. So these are super tedious. I partnered with Linda from LB Creates. She is the queen of Tumbler templates. She has a ton of great template designs in her shop. I am going to link her up down below if you guys want to get the template for this tutorial for the Tangram or any of the other great templates that she has in her shop. So of course, all the products that you see in this video are also going to be listed down in the description box. You might even find some discount codes for you there as well. So I think that's enough chit chat for me. Let's go ahead and get started. Guys, so we're going to start with a fully prepped and sanded cup. To prep my cup, I'm just going to use a little bit of the final sand paste, and this is just a non-toxic silica based like sanding compound that's going to help us scratch up the surface of that stainless steel as well as clean it with a really good detergent. And I'm using a maroon scouring pad. You can find the final sand prep paste as well as the maroon scouring pads in the epoxy section of the description box below this video. So really this stuff is just a one-step easy way to prep our cups. So after I've scrubbed all around the cup, I'm just going to rinse it off real quick in the sink and dry it really well with some paper towels. The next step, we need to size our template. I know what size to make my template because there's this handy little writing here that comes with the file. So when we upload this template to Cricut Design Space, you're just going to select it, click ungroup, and delete these little instructions here. It shows you the size that you need for your particular cup. Today we're using a 20-ounce straight skinny from Craft Haven. I figured a straight skinny with no taper would be the easiest cup to use for a design like this. So once I've got my template sized appropriately, I'm just going to cut this on some regular vinyl. I didn't have any stenciling vinyl or anything fancy, so I'm just using Oracal 651 vinyl. It ended up working out fine for me. All right, and so you're going to notice that the vinyl that I used initially and this particular green vinyl here are two different colors because I actually had to cut this twice. I messed up and forgot to film the first time I did this. So anyway, that's why they're two different colors. Anyway, after we cut out our template, I want to make sure that I've cut out as close around the template as possible so I don't have any kind of paper hanging off the sides. And then we're going to really carefully get some transfer tape over our vinyl. This is my favorite transfer tape. You can find it down below in my description box, and it comes with that cute pink scraper that I use all the time for free. Important thing to remember when placing your transfer tape is you want to make sure you have a completely straight bottom on that template so that when we go to arrange it on our cup, we can first place the overlap of transfer tape on our cup and use our table as a guide to line that up as straight as possible. So that initial edge going onto your cup has to be completely straight for this to work. And you'll notice that I'm trying to keep the paper backing on my vinyl on there as long as possible while I use my vinyl scraper to smooth the vinyl out onto my cup. Then I'm going to trim off this excess transfer tape that I used as my anchor and connect the rest of the pattern to the cup. So it should come out really well. I think I had like 1/16 of an inch overlap on mine down that back seam, but it was totally fine. It didn't mess with me later. So we'll just pull our transfer tape off, and that is how we transfer the whole template to our cup. All right, and now comes the hard part. Well, the whole thing's hard, but this was really tough for me. So I thought initially that I would try and map out my pattern first by like writing little letters on my template. And that just was too hard for me. I could not conceptualize it in my head, so I had to just start removing pieces of the template that I wanted that darkest glitter to go. You're going to want to start with your darkest glitter because it's the most obtrusive. If you wanted to get fancy with this design, you totally could take the time to map out how you wanted your pattern first, but I just didn't have that kind of patience. So after I removed what pieces I wanted for the darkest color of glitter, which in this case is this beautiful Emerald City Green from Peachy Olive Glitters, I did spray paint a little bit of a base coat for it. You don't have to do that, but I just really wanted to get good, solid, deep color. Then I'm going to use Mod Podge to glitter the whole bottom of the cup first because it's all exposed. There's no template on that part, so this is going to be all solid glitter down here. And we're going to just tap off the excess once we've got everything covered down there and continue on with filling in all of our dark green glittered sections. And when you're doing this, it's really important that you aren't painting too much of the Mod Podge outside of the line of your sections, because that's what's going to cause lifting from your glitter later on when we go to pull those other pieces of the template. Okay, so really try to stay in the lines. Also, when you were pulling your template, you want to make sure that you pulled it around those bottom rows in a way to where they all connect with the same color that you've glittered the bottom. You'll see why later, because it can cause an awkward bottom when we go to outline all our sections with that super thin cut vinyl. You'll see what I mean when I get towards the end, why that's important. But anyhow, so we're just going to continue on. This process is not hard, it's just tedious and takes quite a while. I think I probably spent like a total of 2.5, maybe 3 hours glittering just the glitter part. So yeah, but take your time. No big rush. And again, you know, if you guys wanted to make this as simple or as complicated as you want, you know, I really tried to make things as easy as possible on myself by making like large blocks of color. I only picked 3 glitter colors and then 2 different kinds of vinyl for the large blocks of vinyl. Just because I didn't want to have to kind of like think about too much of a pattern. I sort of just went for it. And when you start doing this, you're going to get a feel for where you want things to go and how you want to kind of, you know, orchestrate this whole design. And then once I've got all my dark green sections colored in, I just tapped off the excess and I removed the template pieces that I wanted black vinyl to go later. So I wanted to have just plain black vinyl in certain spots around the bottom. And so I removed where I would want that to go later on. The reason I'm going to be revealing those parts of the template now instead of later is because I don't want to pull those pieces of the template after I've waited too long for that green glitter to dry, because I can risk lifting of my glitter later on. So that's kind of the hard part about this, and it's also why it's really important for us to have done proper prep work in the beginning. So now I'm ready to move on to my next darkest glitter color, which in this case is just a beautiful gold. I'm using Frannie from Peachy Olive Glitter. And again, just kind of picking random places that I thought it would look good. And once I've got all that glittered, my 2 darkest colors, and it's dried for about 20 minutes or so, it should dry pretty fast. I'm going to spray seal the whole thing so the darkest colors will not move around when I go in to do my white sections. For my white sections, I'm going to use Mod Podge mixed with white acrylic paint, probably about a 2-to-1 glue to paint ratio. Mix that up really well. and then start revealing the sections from our template that we want the white glitter to go. And by now you should really have kind of a clear vision on where you want your colors to be. If you're doing, you know, a random pattern like I am, you can, at this point, you can kind of start to see it come together, and it becomes really clear where you want those colors to go. Okay, and so after I got all of my white sections painted and glittered, I'm just going to tap off the excess as much as I can. And I actually went in and did a second coat over all of the white, and then I double checked any of the gold sections if they needed double coats. Now, if you really want to pay attention to that part, the worst part about this design is getting all the way done with this and realizing that some of your glittered sections don't have very good coverage. That's part of why I really despise doing designs like this, is because it really is kind of a pain in the butt to get good solid coverage with your glitter. So anyhow, I got all those sections glittered, double coated, let them dry overnight, and then I really tapped off the excess as hard as I could, brushed off any excess glitter, and then I spray sealed it with Rust-Oleum 2x clear gloss spray. I did that twice. So we did 2 coats of the clear coat. That dried for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I applied my first coat of epoxy. I let that first coat dry for 4 to 6 hours, and then I immediately went into a second coat of epoxy, which I let dry for 8 to 12 hours, and then we were ready for sanding. At this stage of the process, I'm really only sanding to make sure that the sections I'll be placing the marble vinyl and my black vinyl are totally smooth. So I don't need to do anything crazy around the top and bottom rim yet. I just want to make sure I have a smooth surface to apply those vinyl sections. After I sand, I'm going to wash my cup with warm water and some dish soap and dry it off with some coffee filters. Cut my vinyl sections, I really just cut out the template again at the same exact size that we cut it when we placed it on the cup initially. It's just this time I cut it on half black vinyl and half marble vinyl. And really I just placed those 2 vinyls on my mat side by side so that when I went to cut that template, it just cut half and half. And that's all that I will need for the vinyled sections of my design. And when I go to place these on the cup, really I'm just going to hand place them really carefully. If you wanted to have, you know, done these blank sections with white glitter and then do clear water slide over them, that's fine. I think Linda used clear cast vinyl or something like that. I really love vinyl, so I'm just using vinyl, and I thought it was pretty simple to do. It's just, again, tedious, took a lot of time. I made sure to transfer all of my single rows first, and then those areas of the design that have like double rows, I would transfer using transfer tape so that they are placed all at once. The reason I want those larger sections placed all at once is so you can't see the seams of the individual cuts in the rows, if that makes sense. I would have liked to have like welded those rows together to make one big shape for these particular sections. However, Cricut Design Space was doing scheduled maintenance, so I couldn't alter the file after I'd cut it. Thanks. So anyway, however you want to get your vinyl on here, however you want to do this part, and maybe, you know, you're just doing your whole thing in glitter, and that's fine too. After we got all that vinyl placed on there, I did a coat of epoxy. This was a pretty conservative coat. I think I only used a little less than 20 milliliters of epoxy, and I let that dry for 8 to 12 hours. I did a little bit of sanding to make sure that everything was smooth enough to place my finishing lines. The finishing lines I made in Cricut Design Space by cutting a square from the Shapes tool, and I sized it at 11.5 by 0.06 inches. So you end up with these really tiny strips. You guys have seen me make these before in some of my other tutorials, really simple to do. Some people use nail tape. I, however, was not accurate enough with my glittering and the placing of my pattern. So I couldn't use nail strips because they're too thin and they didn't cover up any of those kind of little mess ups and boo-boos that I had. So I had to cut my strips a little wider, which I think worked out just fine. So this part was definitely the most tedious. Really, you're just placing these by hand and using the natural lines in your pattern as a guide. And however, you want to place your lines. To use every bit of my vinyl, I used all the strips in between the strips that I cut for these center lines here. And really, it's just a matter of placing that vinyl down and hand trimming it with your craft knife. The most important thing to remember when doing this is to make sure that all of your seams are meeting together flush and that you don't have anything overlapping, which can kind of be tricky. So you just really want to make sure that you got your glasses on, you have some good lighting, and make sure that all of those lines are mitered and sliced nicely so you get a good seamless look. And so after all that tedious vinyl work, I thought it would be a good idea to put a layer of Quick Coat over this to seal in my vinyl. Quick Coat is a water-based urethane sealer. It is not epoxy. Really, it's just a sealer that's going to help us seal the edges of our vinyl to make sure that our epoxy doesn't lift it up at all and we don't get any kind of bubbling. And with all the goings on that we had from all that vinyl work, sealing your vinyl would probably be a good idea. And you can seal your vinyl with polyacrylic, with this Quick Coat water-based urethane sealer, or even if you wanted to maybe use some spray sealer, that might work. But this is just to safeguard our design and make sure we don't get any kind of upsets when we go to put our final coats of epoxy on. All right, and so that took about 30 minutes to dry, and then we were ready for epoxy. This one took 2 final coats to get it totally smooth, and then we were done. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. If you love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.